Hi, today we're going to make a delicious sandwich from the port region of Portugal. That's all the way in northern Portugal. This sandwich was invented in the 1960s by a chef that immigrated from France. His name was Daniel da Silva. Came over, invented this sandwich, and now it's legendary in the port region. Honestly, after seeing the sandwich made, I think Daniel was hungover because there is a lot of meat, not low calorie. This is a meal I would come up with after being out all night. It is put on a thick bread, like a Texas toast, and check it out. It has salami, so like a mortadella or salami. Then after ham, fresh sausage, linguiça, Muenster cheese, any cheese that's easily meltable. So something like Monterey Jack, possibly even sliced mozzarella. But I think Muenster will go really well with this because it just melts super easy. Then it has a steak in between. So it's a meal. Today I'm going to make the version with a fried egg on top. It's one of the most famous restaurants in port, does it this way. So a fried egg on top, and then after, the whole sandwich is doused with a sauce made from beer, tomato sauce, and wine. Hang on, this is going to be a fun ride and a delicious sandwich to try. First thing I'm going to do is cut the steak in half and tenderize it. I like to tenderize the steak. I think it comes out much more tender. First step, I'm going to put in a little olive oil. Cook my fresh sausage. This sausage hasn't been cooked, it's raw meat. The linguiça is a cooked sausage, so I'm going to hold off until the fresh sausage is about halfway cooked, and then I'll throw in my linguiça. Okay, the fresh sausage has been cooking for about 5 minutes. I'm going to put in my linguiça now. Now I'm going to add in the onions and garlic. After you add in the onions and garlic, you'll continue to saute it over low heat for an additional 10 minutes. Okay, in this pan with the onions, the sausage, we're making the sauce that's going to go over the Francesinha. So I'll take out the sausage we've been cooking. Left behind a lot of delicious flavor in there. That's why we do that. Now I'll put in 1 can of beer. You want to use something, a lighter type of beer. Something like a lager or a very light ale. Put in 8 ounces of tomato sauce. I have some piri-piri hot sauce, or I think sometimes they call it piri-piri. You could use any type of hot sauce, like Tabasco, anything like that will work. Obviously, you could do this to your own flavor. I'm putting in about a tablespoon. Stir that up, turn up our heat. We want it to be like a medium boil now, low to medium boil. And now we'll put in a teaspoon of beef bouillon. You could use, if you don't have beef bouillon, you could use chicken bouillon. Give that a stir. Now I will put in a bay leaf, some black pepper, 4 ounces of white wine. I'm going to use a Vino Verde, but you could use any white wine. I am going to cook the steak. Salt the meat. All right, my sauce is done cooking. Now I'm just going to remove the bay leaf. Put that in there. This sauce gets blended, so I'm going to put it in a bar blender and blend it that way. If you have one of those immersion blenders, you could do that. Or if you have a food processor, you could put it in the food processor. And if you don't have any of those, don't sweat it, and it'll still be delicious. Like always, extremely important to taste. It's pretty damn good. That's delicious. I don't think I'm gonna mess with it though. I think there's enough salt and enough spice to it. So I'm gonna pour it back in the pan and keep it hot because it is a hot sauce that gets poured over the sandwich. Now we're gonna cut a half moon shape out of the top of the cheese. I have 6 slices of cheese per sandwich. The sandwich is no joke. If you're not gonna put a fried egg on top of the sandwich, you don't need to cut out the little hole. That little hole is for the yolk when you put that in there. So I have a little cutter. You could do it by eye. If you are making these sandwiches for a large group of people, you can go ahead and do it like an assembly line where just brush the bread on both sides liberally with a lot of butter and then put the whole sandwich in the oven, let it cook for a while and get toasty and warm, and then bring it out, put the fried egg on top and the cheese. Put the bread in there, kind of spin that around, let it soak up a lot of that butter. Then we'll assemble it, put our salami or mortadella down. Now I'm going to put the 2 fresh sausages that have been cooked, and also the 1 slice of linguiça. I like to put 1 slice of cheese in the middle. Really, you want the bottom to get toasty, so that looks good on the bottom. So now, put our steak on top, put our bread, put another about 2 teaspoons of butter in there, and flip the sandwich over. This sandwich is so crazy, I almost forgot the ham. 1 more piece of meat goes in there. There you go, now we're set. Now, just like we did the other side, kind of like grill it over low heat. That smells so good. It's nice and brown on the bottom, nice crunchy crust, just like you would want with a perfect grilled cheese sandwich. Now I'm gonna put it in the oven while I make my fried egg. Butter. Again, whenever cooking eggs, you wanna do low to medium low heat. When eggs get above 185 degrees Fahrenheit, they get a little rubbery. On my website, justcookwithmichael.com, I have a bunch of tips on cooking eggs, from meringues to hard-boiled eggs you can check out. And the egg is traditionally served sunny side up. All right, we're all set. Now I'm gonna assemble everything. Also, this sandwich, I just could tell from the girth of it, this is probably good enough for 2. If you're not a huge eater or really hungover, this is probably good for 2 people. Look at that bad boy. Took that out of the oven, nice and hot. Now we'll put our fried egg on top. You want to put the yolk dead center. Now the cheese just goes around the yolk like this. There you go, 6 slices of cheese surround this whole thing. Absolutely delicious. And now you pour the piping hot sauce over it. The sauce is actually what starts to melt the cheese more, right over the top. This is why you want to use a cheese that melts really easily. Is that absolutely beautiful? This one was a little bit of a project, but man, how good does that look? Give it a try. Thanks for joining me. Go out and cook with someone you love.